He got down on one knee by the fire, told me I was his forever, and I believed every word until I found the crumpled receipt that told a completely different story. I'm in my late 20s, and I've been with Jake for 3 years. It's been a real relationship, not some fairy tale, but something I believed in. We've had our rough patches, like anyone else, but there was always this quiet conviction in me that he was it. My person. The one I'd grow old with, argue over bills with, build a life beside. I've never been the kind of girl who dreams in diamonds. Material things don't move me. It's not about the price tag or the brand name. What gets to me is effort. It's the little things. Remembering how I take my coffee, leaving a note before work, planning something just because. Thoughtfulness. That's what sticks. And maybe that's because in the past, I've been with guys who made me feel like a backup plan. Like I was convenient, not chosen. I've had birthdays forgotten, promises broken, moments that should have been special brushed off like they didn't matter. So when someone shows they're paying attention, when they do something just to make me feel seen, that means something. It's not about being spoiled. It's about feeling prioritized. That's all I've ever wanted. Jake tells her to keep a weekend free. No details, just a you'll see smile. They drive a few hours out of town and end up at a small, quiet cabin tucked into the woods. There's snow on the ground, a fire already crackling in the hearth, and the smell of pine and something sweet in the air. She's instantly charmed. It's not luxurious, but it's warm, private, and peaceful. The kind of place you only find if you've really thought it through. He cooks a simple dinner, they drink wine, and later, as they're sitting on a worn leather couch wrapped in a shared blanket, soft jazz playing in the background, he gets down on one knee. His voice shakes a little as he talks about their years together, how she changed his life, how he can't imagine a future without her. When he opens the box, she gasps, not because of the ring, but because of the moment. It's quiet, real. There's no big speech or choreographed production. It's raw and sincere. She says yes before he even finishes the question. His eyes are misty too, and they hold each other like something huge just shifted, like the world made space for the next chapter. Later, they pop open a small bottle of champagne he brought and toast to their future. She admires the ring. It's understated, a single diamond with a thin, classic band. Not flashy, but elegant. Thoughtful, at least that's what she believes in the moment. A few days after they're back home, she's in cleanup mode, sorting laundry, tidying the bedroom. She grabs Jake's coat from the back of a chair, meaning to hang it when something crinkles in the pocket. She reaches in and pulls out a balled-up receipt. Without thinking, she unrolls it. Her eyes scan the print, a major jewelry store logo, dated just days before the trip. Then the line item catches her. Engagement ring, 50% off clearance, final sale. Her fingers go still. The price is low, jarringly low, less than her coworker just spent on designer sneakers. Cheaper than the necklace her friend got for her birthday from a boyfriend she's not even that serious about. At first, she tells herself not to care. She's never been into labels or diamonds the size of gumballs. But it's not the cost that turns her stomach. It's the context, the clearance tag, the final sale. The fact that this wasn't a ring he picked after weeks of searching or something that made him think of her. It was a bargain, a grab off the discount rack. And suddenly, that quiet, perfect proposal by the fire doesn't feel quite so thoughtful anymore. It feels convenient, like the gesture mattered more than the meaning behind it. The receipt sits in her drawer, folded and hidden, but it's all she can think about. What started as a quiet unease becomes a loud, unrelenting question in her mind. Was this proposal real, or just thrown together because it was easy? She replays everything from the past few weeks, the suddenness of the trip, how he dodged details when she asked about plans, the way he casually dismissed her comments about how much she values thoughtfulness. A ring on clearance isn't the issue. It's what it symbolizes: effort, attention, intention, or in this case, the lack of it. She tells herself again and again that it shouldn't matter, that she's not materialistic, that she loves him, that the proposal felt right in the moment. But the feeling keeps circling back. If this is how he starts forever, what does forever actually look like? Will he keep choosing shortcuts? Will he hear her needs and still ignore them because technically he didn't do anything wrong? Her mind spins, fast and messy, bouncing between guilt and disappointment. She wants to be the cool, understanding partner, but something fundamental feels off, and she can't shake it. One evening, she brings it up. No drama, just a quiet, honest question as they sit at the kitchen table. "Hey, can I ask you something about the ring?" His expression shifts immediately, guarded. She mentions the receipt, the clearance sale, the timing. She's not angry, just confused. Was it a last-minute thing? He laughs it off, light and dismissive. "It's a ring. You said yes. Isn't that what matters?" She tries to explain, gently, that it's not about the ring or the price, it's what it represents, that it feels like he waited until the last second and grabbed whatever was available, that it doesn't feel personal. Jake's tone hardens. "You always said you didn't care about stuff like that. Money, labels. You said you hated flashy proposals." His voice rises. "So what? Now you're mad because it wasn't expensive enough?" She's stunned. That's not what she said at all. She tries again, slower this time. "It's not the money. It's the fact that it feels like you didn't think about it, like I wasn't worth planning for." That's when he snaps. "You said yes. You cried. You told me it was perfect. Are you seriously going back on that now? Over a damn receipt? There it is. Not the words themselves, but the gap between them." She's trying to talk about meaning, about emotional effort. He's stuck on logistics, on what he technically did or didn't do. And in that moment, she knows they're not speaking the same emotional language. He doesn't get it. Maybe he never really did. She doesn't make any big moves right away. Instead, she calls someone who really knows her older sister, or maybe a longtime friend who's seen every version of her. She lays it all out. The proposal, the receipt, the argument. The friend listens quietly, then says something that cuts straight through the fog. "You're not being dramatic. You just wanted to feel chosen, not like some checkbox he ticked off with a coupon." And that's it. That's the heart of it. It was never about diamonds or price tags. It was about feeling like he knew her, like she mattered enough to put in the effort. And as she turns that over in her mind, she sees it's not a one-time thing. It's a pattern. The way Jake brushes off her concerns, talks circles around her feelings, always finds a way to make her seem too sensitive, too needy. She remembers birthdays where he forgot what she liked, anniversaries where he winged it and called it spontaneous, arguments where she left feeling like the crazy one. That night, she takes off the ring, sits on her bed with it in her palm, thinking about the version of herself that said yes. And then she asks the hard question. Do I trust him to show up for me? Not just when it's easy, but when it matters most? The answer comes quietly, but firmly. Number. She can't start forever already questioning his effort, already doubting whether he'll ever fully see her. So she makes the call, not in anger, not in drama, just a decision grounded in self-respect. She meets him in person, ring in hand. He sees it, and his face twists, confused at first, then offended. Wait, what is this? She places it on the table between them. I'm giving it back. The silence after is thick. Then he explodes. Are you seriously ending this over a ring? His voice climbs. So that's it? Everything we've built, all the memories, tossed out because you didn't like the price tag? She doesn't flinch. Her voice is steady. It's not the ring. It's what the ring showed me. You didn't think about what I'd want. You didn't listen. You didn't plan. You just picked something easy and expected me to call it romantic. He tries to interrupt, but she keeps going. This isn't about money, it's about what you value. And I can't spend my life explaining why my feelings matter. He stares at her like he doesn't recognize the woman in front of him. Maybe he never did. She stands up. No tears, no drama, just clarity. She's not walking away from love. She's walking away from a version of love that keeps asking her to settle. And as she leaves, she knows, for once, she didn't ignore the quiet red flags. She listened. And that choice, painful as it is the first one she's made purely for herself. 6 months later, she's living in a different apartment, smaller, but all hers. The ring is long gone, the drama has quieted, and Jake is just a name that occasionally pops up in old photos she hasn't bothered to delete yet. She's single, not searching, not rushing, just rebuilding. Therapy, journaling, saying no more often, taking up space without apologizing for it. She's finally learning what it means to trust her gut before it needs to scream. The second guessing is gone. The endless inner debates over whether she was asking for too much have faded. Because now she knows she wasn't. She's not bitter, just wiser. And deeply grateful she didn't walk down the aisle with someone who saw her as someone to appease, not cherish. She sits on her balcony one evening, a cup of coffee in hand, watching the sun dip low behind the buildings. There's no ring on her finger, no grand romantic plan unfolding, just peace. And she thinks, not with anger, but with certainty. Turns out the receipt wasn't the problem. It was the proof I needed.